Annie, you had something to say.
Yeah, I was gonna just add that part of your question, like as far as why do we not give enough attention, or it's not discussed a lot about male fertility and things like that, is because I think it just boils down to fertility is seen something as a woman's issue, like it's seen as something that a woman has to worry about. Um, I feel like a lot of men don't grow up being socialized to be more aware of their part that they play in pregnancy and things like that. Like if you notice how a lot of conversation goes, it's like many times they seem to, it's like they engage with it as though a woman getting pregnant is something that happens to them, not something that they've done. Right. Like they sometimes the conversation is like a tacit, kind of like a like they're a tacit participant, like they're not really, like they didn't have everything to do with it. And like my husband and I have had these conversations as well, and I've just talked about how it's interesting when you're having those conversations that, because I have like brothers and cousins, like I have a lot of male family members, friends, whatever. So I like to talk to people. I like to actually have conversations with people, not just argue with people, or you know what I mean, or just to get a point across or whatever. So I like to really understand other people's viewpoints. And so many of them, it takes so long to get to the point where it's like, you are also in charge of your reproductive decisions and choices, and like what you're doing, like who you get pregnant, like that you're also responsible, like you're in charge. You don't have to get people pregnant. Like, and it's like just would literally have to have that conversation, and they'll just be like, it'll be like a short circuit, like, what do you mean? Like, because I didn't want to get them pregnant, and they got pregnant. Like, no, you didn't have to get them like, well, I didn't do it on purpose, but you did not do it. You know what I mean? Like there's still a choice in there that I feel like we don't socialize men enough to be like, no, you don't have to just get somebody pregnant. Like you can make choices, and there are things that you can do to where you're more in charge, where you're not at the mercy of the person that you're sleeping with on whether or not they have a pregnancy or carry it to time. Like you don't I have
The
to even.
favorite the favorite
Yeah.
line is, I thought she was on birth control, or she wanted me to come in her, or stuff like that. Like it don't matter what she wanted. Did you want to have a baby? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, how do you know she was on birth control? Did you actually go to the doctor with her to make sure she was on birth control? I know people like to have raw sex, so most people like to do that, but it's still ways to prevent um having a baby. You can still like make sure she's on birth control, stuff of that nature. Get the parent beep the pills and stuff like that. But I just think a lot of men just have excuses and just want to throw that off on the woman. If she so happens to get pregnant, then hey, go have an abortion. Like it's just nothing. It's just have an abortion. You know,
Yeah.
uh, you knew I didn't want a baby. Now you knew you didn't want a baby, so you should have did what you had to do. What I'm doing something for you for, when that woman might deep in her mind want a baby. So you never know. Like, you don't trust her, trust you.
Yeah. Dorian says, I've been telling younger guys, he says, I'm sorry. Very true. I've been telling younger guys about shooting blanks when they get older. They all think they have so much time. And they do. I think that, men do other men a disservice when they continuously say things like, oh, I could make a baby till I'm 70. I'm like, okay, you know, just because you can have sex doesn't mean that you will be able to conceive. Now, you might have some older men who have made babies, right? Obviously, right? But your likelihood of doing so decreases over time, just like it does with women, and the health of the baby can be impacted. So it's definitely something that
And the other
couples
question
have to
becomes, why
be
would you want
talking
to?
about.
You want to be
Right.
60 and 70-year old with a
Yeah.
newborn? What kind
You
of shit
can't do
is
nothing
this?
with your son.
Carrie
And
had a good. Oh, go ahead.
I have a friend. He's very conscious of like his age and stuff like that. He said to me the other day, we was having this conversation, that no man in his family has lived over the age of 65. So that in itself, like if you do want to even have a baby at the age 60, just think about your chances of even watching that baby grow up, graduate even from eighth grade is not good. Like I will believe everybody will want to have some of these moments with their kid. That, of course, they don't know the moments that they're going to have, but just knowing that you have graduations, you want to walk your daughter down the aisle, things of that nature. I think people envision that when they do have kids. So if you want to wait to 60, 65, you chances are you might not have that, and so it's about
Well, the average mortality rate for Black men is 64.
yeah. So
So it's just something to talk about. We have to get rid of this one-sided conversation that points at women. And a lot of times it's not even a conversation that's rooted in concern for women. It's rooted in shaming women. Oh, look at you, you getting older, you gonna be a geriatric mom, or you gonna have them Down syndrome babies, or you're a Spencer, you're an old maid. And it's not even rooted in a healthy conversation. It's rooted in trying to shame women into doing something that you want them to do, whether
but
it be
some of them babies do be coming out looking like they 23. Y'all better watch it now.
shut up.
Don't be having them babies
So
too old now.
so the point, and
Yeah.
I'm not advocating for pushing off, marriage and having children. I'm not advocating for that. I'm just saying that both men and women have to be aware of everything that goes into having a child,
Mm-hmm.
and pregnancy. When we are getting married, you can't just count out the fact that it may be you, it may be your health that, as a man, that is preventing pregnancy. And if you ignore that for 2-3 years, that's 2-3 years that you've lost, that perhaps you could have used to be trying to focus on the right thing so that you can, increase your chances of getting pregnant. And I also think that women need to be educated about this so we can start setting some stuff straight when people are trying to, belittle us as women, because of these things. It doesn't even make sense, right? We talked a lot about like outside pressures and criticisms from people who see that you're married and you haven't had a child yet. What about partner resentment? Can any of you all speak to that? Have you guys ever had a situation where your partner, and I don't want no husband, and I don't want nobody to get mad, but if you can wisely speak about, any experiences, or even just hearing about couples where there's some partner resentment, where one partner, whether it's the man or the woman, who's resenting their partner because they have fertility issues. Can you guys speak about that? No, y'all quiet. Y'all like, nah, I'm gonna save this one.
Well, I can't speak about that, but I can speak about for the longest my wife, like, she kept saying that she don't think she can have kids and stuff like that, and it really didn't matter to me, but I knew it mattered to her. She didn't really, saying get into a deep conversation about it, but she used to make comments about it all the time. So in the back of my head, I was feeling like, I just felt like she just couldn't have babies anymore, and which when and I guess I kind of felt bad for being relieved about that. You know what I'm saying? It's something that's so important to her, and I was just like, shit, I can shoot the club up whenever I want. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't got to worry about having a baby. But on the other side, I knew she wanted another baby. So I don't I don't know if she ever felt that from me, but I was just like, and then when she got pregnant, I was kind of like shocked, like, what the hell? I thought you couldn't have no more babies. What just a
Yeah.
miracle, you know what I'm saying? And all along she had been planning this crap. So
See,
what?
no, he always know. See, he always no. See, this is where the disconnect between men and women come in at right now, okay, with the communication, because he always misinterprets that entire situation. I never said to this man, I never told him, like, I don't think I had a child. Why would I be like, I don't think I said I was concerned, right? Because I was older, right? I had not, I only been pregnant that one time. Right. And then so once you get to a stage where you're like, okay, well, now I want to do it, then that's when that doubt comes in. And it's like, oh, well, am I going to be able to? Like,
Well,
okay,
you
like,
convinced
let's
me,
do it.
goddamn it. So shit.
No, that's what,
Your
no,
doubt was
like,
strong. Your doubt was strong enough to convince me, because I was
no,
like,
like you just said, that's what you wanted to hear. So you was like, well, you probably heard me say like one thing, like, what if? You was probably like, that's a done deal. That's what you wanted to hear. I never said that.
Actually, while you asked the question, my husband's downstairs, so I was like, "Is this?" I just want to ask before I say no. But I mean, he said no, and I don't think we have any resentment. Like I mentioned last week, when our nieces and nephews leave, it's a lot of times like a sigh of relief. Like, oh, thank God we got no damn kids. But it's bittersweet, of course, obviously. Sometimes you want them, and then other times when you ain't got no kids and it's peace and quiet, or like now when it's just us two and we don't have to worry about cooking anybody else dinner but us two. We're like, oh, praise the Lord. You know what? See, so I don't think it's resentment. But I mean, he said no. I don't have no resentment. So
Yeah.
I
I was
think
just wondering that because you
I
have
think
men.
just to chime in, I think
Yeah.
there was a little bit of resentment of wanting to keep going on this journey. I think my husband wanted to take a break longer than I did in between the loss and trying again. And I was just ready to get back in there because I was like, I had this, like, I can do this, I can accomplish. Kind of like, I guess, I don't know what you call it. Like, I felt like I could do all of these things. I've accomplished all these things, and this is another one of the things I should be able to accomplish. And so I was resenting like our pace was different. He wanted to like take a break, give it some rest. And I was like, let's just keep going. Let's keep going. Let's go back to the doctor. Let's figure out what to do. Let's keep going. And so one of my best friend was like, I'm gonna need you to stop. He trying to tell you he wants to stop for a while. Not forever, but just take a break. And so I kind of did like what Jobo did. I went traveling. We went to South Africa. We did some other things, to give ourselves a break. But as soon as I got back, I was like ready to get back on the horse. So it was a little bit of that resentment and
Literally.
just the
No.
pacing. Literally get back on the horse. But so that was where the resentment came in, just trying to match our kind of pacing of it.
You guys remember that movie with Chris Rock? I think it was called Why Did I Get Married?
I Think I Love My Wife.
Yeah, I think I love my wife. Yeah, one of my favorite movies. Yeah,
I like that movie.
And in the